Today is April 17th, and sound the alarms because there's snow on the ground in Syracuse. Hey, Mother Nature's just trying to keep us in the winter mindset because the Crunch might be playing hockey in May. Welcome into sports. I'm John Eads. Syracuse is on a heater, folks. 6 wins in its last 8 tries, and they stayed hot tonight against the Toronto Marlies. Match legacy between the pipes for the Crunch. The Quebec native did not play in Syracuse's 5-1 loss to Utica on Friday night. No score in the late stages of the first period until Charles Houdon sends it into the oven. 1-0 Crunch. We move ahead to the second. Early on, I don't know if Houdon, found some kind of pot or something, pot of gold, but he was in the right place at the right time. You might want to buy a lottery ticket tonight with the kind of luck that he had. And I don't know if you need a wingman, but Beret Boulay is your guy. He feeds Nick Perbix for his first professional goal, and the Crunch would put it in cruise control from there. 5-1 the final score. Syracuse is now tied with Rochester for second place in the North Division with 81 points. Now, while the Crunch might be ending the season on a high note, the Mets are beginning their season on a low note. And I'm not a big musical instrument guy, just ask my 4th grade recorder teacher, but if the start to the 2022 campaign were a music note for Syracuse, it would be what they call an A0. The offense looking good for the Mets in this game as opposed to previous games. They entered the game with just 5 runs in their last 3 outings. 4-0 Syracuse, top of the third. Daniel Palka at the plate. Sayonara, 3-run bomb to right field. 6-0 Mets. A lot of offense in this game. 9-9 in the 8th inning. Travis Blankenhorn smashes a 2-1 pitch and clears the 400-foot wall. Second home run of the season for the 25-year-old. Now, the bottom of the 8th was a disaster for Syracuse. Not only did Columbus come back and even the game at 12, they blew it wide open. David Fry with an RBI double to put the Clippers on top. Columbus would hold on for a 15-12 win, and they hand Syracuse its 4th consecutive loss. Now let's move up to the major leagues, where the Mets rounded out a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks. Second start of the season for David Peterson. The 26-year-old allowed 4 hits, struck out 4 batters, and walked 2 in 4 1/3 innings of work. Mets up 3-0 in the bottom of the 7th. Pete Alonso pads the lead with a 2-run shot to left center. 3rd homer of the season for the designated hitter. New York wins 5-0 over Arizona. Now over to the Big Apple, where the Yankees were battling with the Orioles. Nestor Cortez on the mound for his 2nd start of the season, and he was cooking. 12 strikeouts in 5 innings of action. That's more than the righty had in any game last year. Chad Green relieved Cortez in the 6th, fly ball to left center, and Tim Locastro goes airborne to reel in the fly ball. Unbelievable from a guy touching the diamond for the first time this year. He's already in midseason form. Locastro couldn't do anything about this one, though. Rougned Odor gets Baltimore on the board with a single to center. 2-0 Orioles at that point, and that ended up being the game-winning play. New York's offense as quiet as a tree falling in the middle of the woods. Baltimore takes it 5-0 and the series 2-1. Now, May is just a couple weeks away, and it's a month that's synonymous with a couple of things. Of course, there's Mother's Day, you got Memorial Day, and usually Syracuse lacrosse is somewhere in there. Well, not so much this year. In fact, not at all. Syracuse entered yesterday afternoon's meeting with number 15 North Carolina fostering a 4-7 record. With just a trio of games left in the regular season, every game was a must-win if the Orange wanted to dance next month. And, well, let's just say the Gate Household Grill might be getting a bit more action than anticipated next month. UNC all over Syracuse early on in the second quarter, 5-2 lead until Tucker Dordevic bounces one in. 40th goal of the season, first time a Syracuse player has recorded that since 2015, and he wastes no time getting score number 41 off the feed from Landon Clary. Syracuse scored 3 straight goals to end the first half, and Owen Siebold pulled SU back within 2 with 2 to go in the second quarter. But let's go to the 4th. UNC up 12-9, man-up situation for Syracuse. Pete Fiorini buries it off the slash. That was the first time the Midi had played all day. That's Tucker Dordevic to Brendan Curry for another man-up goal. Syracuse down just 1. Now the Orange in transition. Siebold to Jackson Birtwistle on the doorstep. The freshman scores. He had a hat trick on the day, and it's 12-12. Brendan Curry seconds later gives Syracuse the lead with a slingshot that beats Colin Krieg. But hey, this is cardiac Cuse. Chris Gray channels his inner Derek Jeter and scores the game-winning goal with 15 seconds to go. The Tar Heels rally to win 14-13. Heartbreak for the 2nd time in a week for the Orange. The loss clinches SU's first losing season since 2007. So no postseason for Syracuse men's lacrosse, but the SU women's team has national title aspirations. Penultimate ACC game of the year, and Syracuse not off to a great start. Louisville was up 4-2 until Savannah Schweitzer cut into the deficit. Then Meg Tyrell with the keys to the offense. Nasty split dodge, beats her defender to the rack, and scores to even the game at 4. Now, no Meg Carney in this game for SU, so Tyrell had to be option 1A, and she certainly was. She led all scores with 7 points in this conference clash, and that goal put Syracuse on top 6-5. But the midfielders also chipped in. Jenny Markey down a treadmill to the cage, bounces one past the keeper. Season high 3 goals in the day for the midfielder, and she sparks the transition game right here. Dink and dunk between Schweitzer and Emily Harris-Chuck. 5 goals on the day for the attacker. She's now just 3 goals shy of passing her head coach Kayla Trainer for the most career goals in Syracuse program history. Syracuse wins a home away from home game at CBA, 23-13 over Louisville. SU is back in the Dome on Tuesday against UAlbany. Speaking of CBA, former purple and gold star Stevie Scott was in action over the weekend in the USFL. The tailback is carrying the rock for the Michigan Panthers, looking to potentially work his way back to the NFL after a short preseason stint with the Saints. Scott in the backfield with Shea Patterson for the Michigan Panthers, USFL opener for the team from Michigan. He takes it off the left tackle here for a gain of 8 yards. Had a lot of touches on the day, really looking impressive. And if the Saints are watching film, they might want this guy back. Scott gets another take up the middle, fights his way to the goal line, and gets there. First professional touchdown for the former Indiana Hoosier. He had 18 carries for 72 yards and a score on the day, but it wasn't enough to lift Michigan over Houston. They lose 17-12 in Birmingham, but you can catch Scott and the Panthers back in action on Friday at 8. So baseball and lacrosse you expected, right? But we even got the pigskin flying in April again. That's awesome. Honestly, with the weather we're having right now, it seems like we should be preparing for some bowl games, but I assure you, it's supposed to be spring, and after the break, Josh Golden will get you set with your 7-day forecast.